Alright, hello! Now normally, I'm not usually here on this channel a whole lot, but most have asked me to fill in. 2022 had some pretty good games, but if we're all being completely honest, I think Elden Ring fucking sucks, and Halo Infinite has gotten way better ever since they added 4gen. Which reminds me, you can catch me making Halo 4s an all-timer on youtube.com/paparantism fucking never, because I'm not playing that fucking dog penis of a game. Now with that out of the way, sit back, relax, take a swig of Dr. Pepper, and enjoy Mo Magic's best games of 2022. You bitch asses.
Holy sweet Jesus of Christ. 2022 may be one of the best years in gaming history. I played just about every new AAA release this year, except for a couple because I really just didn't feel the need to play them. And honestly, coming up with a list of 10 of them was really hard. But I think I managed to find relatively which games I like the most out of this year, and I'm gonna throw out a few different rules for this list, by the way, to make it a little bit more fair. Kind of big rule number one is one game per franchise. I know some franchises released multiple games this year, but for the sake of fairness, I will only put one game per franchise on this list. No ports or re-releases. I'll count remakes and remasters, because that's a little different. I know you can probably debate with me as long as you fucking want about, oh, remakes and remasters are just re-releases. Whatever. I'm sticking with my guns on this one. And finally, kind of last rule is games that I played this year and beat this year that have come out in previous years. That's not really fair. It's really not. Like, I played a lot of games that I never got the chance to play before. There's a lot of them. There's quite a lot of them. So yeah, let's just shut up and get to the list because I got a lot of explaining to do for this one because this one's a little crazy. But first I'll get into the honorable mentions because like I said, I played a lot of games this year. So I kind of need to explain why these games didn't really make it for me. And for these games, I'll allow that they could be ports or re-releases because they're not going on the final list. So yeah, let's get into them. Honorable mentions: Final Fantasy VII Remake, Devil May Cry 5, Neo 2, Mortal Shell, God of War 2018, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild, Guardians of the Galaxy, Yakuza Like a Dragon, and Monster Hunter Rise. Alright, that seems like a pretty solid list of games that I played this year, but obviously cannot put them on the list. So without further ado, let's get into my number 10, which might be a little shocking for some people. Coming in at number 10 is The Quarry. I really had no expectations for this game whatsoever. I'm not a huge fan of the Dark Pictures anthology. As a matter of fact, I literally haven't played any of them because they all look really bad. But they managed to pull something kind of special out of their ass because even though this game wasn't amazing, I enjoyed it. Enjoyed it so much that I've played through it twice, and I actually plan on playing it through a third time here in the next few weeks. This game has some goofy moments, it has some actually kind of scary moments, and a lot of really what the fuck moments. Is it a perfect game? Absolutely not. But is it a fun game? Absolutely. This was the first game from this company that I've played, so I don't know, maybe even though the Dark Pictures games are dog shit, I'll give them a try because they're always fun to play with friends. The reason it is so low on this list is because it was one of my favorite games of the year, but while compiling this list, I really couldn't think of anything I liked less than this one, so I put this one at number 10. Coming in at number 9 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Now, this game is really weird for me. I actually contemplated not putting it on this list at all, but I decided, you know what, I might as well. The game is fun when it works. It is one of the best Call of Duty experiences of the last few years. The biggest problem with this game is that it suffers from modern COD syndrome, where the game launches with little to no content whatsoever, the game's broken and buggy, and overall everyone's just super toxic and the skill-based matchmaking is dog shit. Overall, it is a rather fun COD experience. There are some things I wish they would change, or I hope that they'll change here in the next few months, and let's just hope it doesn't turn out like Modern Warfare 2019, where Warzone 2 absolutely sweeps this game and this game becomes literally nothing but a microtransaction fest, because no one wants that. Like, not a single soul wants that. Coming in hot at number 8 is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Man, is this game being fucking forgotten when it comes to the gaming awards season. This is one of the best games of the year. Granted, this is my first Kirby game that I've played in, Jesus Christ, 10 years, so I didn't know what to expect going into it. I got to play the game a couple days early. Not gonna explain that there, but you guys probably already could guess as to how I did. And I was surprised. I was actually genuinely surprised how fun and not bad it was. The game was amazing. It was beautiful, it was funny, it was heartwarming, it was just what Kirby needed. And now I am officially a Kirby fan, I guess you could say. I don't know. I don't really know many Kirby fans. I know people who like Kirby. I like Kirby. I've always liked Kirby. He's funny. But this game really solidified my love for the pink little puffball, and it really makes me want to go play through it again, now that I'm really thinking about it. I don't know why I put it so low on this list. I just feel like I enjoyed most of the games on this list a lot more, and I was a little iffy as to put this higher or lower than some of these other ones that are a little more controversial, but I decided to put this one at number 8. Coming in hot at number 7 is actually another Nintendo game. It's Splatoon 3. Man, is this game something good or what? The only real problem I think I have with Splatoon 3 is the fact that the servers are so dog shit. I haven't played it in about 2-3 weeks now, so things could have changed. But the last time I played it, man, I was having such connectivity issues, and my Wi-Fi is not bad. I actually have some pretty decent Wi-Fi, so that really says something. The game is fun, it's really beautiful for a Switch game. All the weapons are really fun to use, some are a little more bullshit than others. The story, while really generic, is fun, but I didn't really play the game for the story, I played it for the multiplayer, because it is really kind of like Nintendo's ode to Call of Duty and Halo and Battlefield, but with their own fun way. And I'm really surprised that this game turned out as good as it did. Splatoon 2 is really good, but I never really found myself wanting to play it. Like, I bought it earlier this year before Splatoon 3 even came out, so I didn't know that I would kind of just be wasting money there, not realizing that Splatoon 3 was coming out within a few short months of me getting Splatoon 2. Overall, Splatoon 3 is a fucking amazing game. I need to actually start playing it more because I'm lacking a little bit. I think it is probably one of my favorite multiplayer experiences of the year, and I played a lot of multiplayer games this year. So yeah, I really like Splatoon 3, and I hope you guys all go play it. Number 6 might be a little controversial. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. I know some people who really like this game, and some people who really don't like this game. I personally really liked it. It took me a bit to sit down and just play it, and I actually, here's a little tidbit, I didn't finish it because this year was really fucking stacked with games. There wasn't a week where I wasn't having to buy another game. There was a point where I had to stop myself from playing all the new games and try and tap out some of the games that I already had, which caused me to not even touch Horizon Forbidden West or Dying Light 2 because we had so many fucking games coming out around that time that I couldn't touch them. I couldn't set aside the time to play them, and I feel really bad, which is why I'm so glad I never bought either of those games. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is the best LEGO Star Wars game of the last, all of them, except for Complete Saga. Complete Saga will forever be just the best LEGO game that there is. Nothing can ever recapture just the goodness and the funny and the heartwarming and just the sheer impact that LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga has. But for this to be the most updated LEGO Star Wars game that we have, it's really good. Sure, it does lack in some elements, like it primarily focuses on the Skywalker Saga aspect of Star Wars, which, I mean, it's literally in the title, but they skipped out on a lot of stuff that they could have done, like the Clone Wars, the anthology stuff, Mandalorian, Rebels, all that stuff. Granted, they could have streamlined all of it and just put it into like a cheap DLC, but they decided not to, which is really disappointing, but who knows? The future is bright because this game sold really fucking well. Number 5, Stray. This game was adorable. I think this is one of the best games of the year. So good, in fact, that it's fucking nominated for Game of the Year. Like, granted, I beat it in one sitting. This is not a long game, nor is it a really expensive game. It's like $30. And for a $30 game, I got everything I wanted. It was emotional, it was adorable. You got to play as a fucking cat for 7-8 hours. How can you not love the idea of playing as a cat in a game? And then we had all the people who were shitting on this game because it's technically just a cat simulator, but have you no heart to enjoy something as simple in life as playing as a fucking cat in a video game? How much of a fucking loser are you? If these next 4 games hadn't come out, I think this game would have been my game of the year. But unfortunately, these other games came out, and I think I liked them quite a bit more. Number 4 is Sonic Frontiers. I just gotta say really quick, this is completely added after I had recorded everything and I'm in the middle of editing. How the fuck can you say Sonic Frontiers is a bad game when it literally has one of the best songs in any game I think I've ever heard? I haven't finished this game yet. I've made a pretty good chunk of the way through, but I'm not changing the list, mostly because I've already recorded the other parts of this video and I really don't want to do it again. And I think the game is actually surprisingly good. It's not perfect by any means, but I did enjoy the fuck out of the game, and I do plan on finishing it here soon. And I'm not just saying this game is good because I feel like I have a Sonic fan with a gun pointed at the back of my head saying, if you don't like this game, I will shoot you. I think the game is actually fun. Is it dumb? Yes. Is the world empty? Pretty empty. Is the game fun, though? I think so. Is it frustrating? It's Sonic. Of course it's frustrating. But at the core value of this game, it's like Sonic Team actually is getting their shit together and making good games again. So through that lens, Sonic's first open world experience is actually pretty solid. It kind of reminds me of Scarlet and Violet. It's not a perfect game. It puts stuff in the right direction for what they're trying to do, but it doesn't quite hit the nail on the head very well. I can tell all the Souls fans are gonna beat my ass when I tell them that number 3 is Elden Ring. I don't hate Elden Ring. Before I get into what I'm about to say, I don't hate the game. I think the game is actually pretty good, but the game kind of does lack in replayability, at least for me. I'm all about replayability in Souls games, and for this to be their first open world venture, it feels empty. It feels like there's just not a whole lot going on. I get it. The game is all about choose your own path, do what the fuck you want to. But I kind of just felt like I was just running around aimlessly with a fucking thumb up my ass for 40 hours. The game, I feel, lacked a lot of direction, and the game is not as good as people say it is. And I'm saying this from someone who's played every Souls game. The only ones I haven't beaten are 2 and Bloodborne. I just need to fucking sit my ass down and deal with a 30 FPS on PS5. Who knows, maybe someday we'll get a Bloodborne patch on PS5 or it'll come to PC. I'm a wishful thinker. I would like for that to happen, but it probably won't. This game is fucking PlayStation's redheaded stepchild. It's never gonna get any updates, and I mean ever. Elden Ring, it's not a bad game. I just don't think I liked it as much as I thought I did at first. It was my most anticipated game of the year. I will keep it $150 with you guys on that one. This is the game I was looking forward to the most. But since I have now finished the game, and I'm doing a second playthrough of it casually, I don't really like the game that much as I thought I did at least. It's not a bad game by any means, so please don't think that I'm just shitting on the game just to shit on it. I enjoyed playing through it, I enjoyed the challenge, but the challenge I felt was not enough, because parts of this game were really, really easy. So yeah, Elden Ring is number 3. I know that people are gonna shit on me for it. Whatever, I don't care. I still think that Dark Souls 1 is the best Dark Souls game that there is, and then we have Bloodborne and Sekiro and Dark Souls 3, and just about every other Souls game minus 2. And I'm not talking about Scholar. Scholar's fine. Dark Souls 2, though, can suck my ass. I know Souls fans are really going to be pissed at me for this one. Number 2 is Pokemon Legends Arceus. I didn't know which Pokemon game to put on this list, but I think I like Legends Arceus a little bit more than Scarlet and Violet. But there's a few reasons. The game feels way more polished than Scarlet and Violet. Granted, Scarlet and Violet looks better than Legends Arceus by some angles. I think Legends Arceus is a well put together game despite the graphical issues. The story, the Pokemon, everything about it just feels so nice. I don't know, it's a really refreshing experience to play a Pokemon game that is not just, hey, go get 8 badges, catch them all, fight the champion, and then that's it. Like, that's not what Legends Arceus had to offer. Sure, it kind of felt like it was following that by doing some beat for beat type things that Pokemon normally does, but it felt different enough to warrant me to like it better than Scarlet and Violet. This is, without a doubt, probably my favorite Pokemon game since Black and White 2. I know I said that about Scarlet and Violet, but now that I've had real time to think about it, by like a technical standpoint, this game is way better than Scarlet and Violet has to offer. But I think that Scarlet and Violet does outweigh this game in some light. At the same time, this game I just feels kind of better than Scarlet and Violet. And it's kind of weird to compare them because while they are both Pokemon games, they feel so different from one another that it's kind of hard to compare them. I think we just have to wait until whatever fucking comes next for Pokemon to be able to compare these two games. Fair enough. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into number 1, baby, because this one's kind of a no-brainer. God of War Ragnarok is my favorite game of this year. Now, does that mean I enjoyed it more than some of these other ones? Yes and no. I think my biggest takeaway from God of War Ragnarok is the story. The story that has been crafted here is probably one of my top 3 favorite stories in any game of all time. The acting is so raw. The graphics are so fucking beautiful. Even playing this on a medium difficulty, I wanted to rip my goddamn hair out. Because the enemies just kind of felt like damage sponges, and I kind of just felt like I was sitting there beating up the same dudes for over and over, which isn't a bad thing. I would just like to point that out. It's not a bad thing. Sometimes it became a little repetitive, which caused for me to put the game down for a little bit and then go back to it. And one thing I do kind of have to gripe about is the price point. Do I think this game is worth $70, almost $80? Yes and no. The game took me about 22 hours to finish. I paid less for God of War 2018, and it took me longer to beat. I don't know if that's because I didn't really do much of the side content for Ragnarok, and I did for the first game, but maybe if I go back and do all the side stuff, my opinion will change. But for right now, I'm not super content with the almost $80 I had to pay for this game, but graphics alone kind of made up for it, and the story as well. This game is just so, it feels personal. It feels good. It feels from the soul. It feels like someone wrote this and created this. We don't really get games like that anymore. Most games feel like they just come off a fucking conveyor belt. God of War Ragnarok is genuinely something special. I know some people are saying they didn't like it as much as 2018, and that's okay. I'm not going to deny you that freedom to like something better than something else. But for me personally, this game is not only better than 2018, but this is one of the best fucking games I have ever played. Usually when it comes to putting something at a number 1 list, it's like, oh yeah, you like this game the most out of that year of games. But this one felt like something special. We don't get many games like this anymore. So it was really nice to sit down and play something that felt raw and fun and something like I haven't played before. So yeah, that's my list for the best games of 2022. I hope you guys enjoyed the list. I know I did. I know there were some games I wanted to put on here, but I didn't, like Marvel's Midnight Suns or the Callisto Protocol. But I feel like I haven't played those games enough to solidify actually putting them on my list. I got a little secret for you guys. Little did you guys know, one of the games that was on this list will actually end up being also on my list for the worst games of the year. So I hope you guys look forward to that as much as I do. Christmas this year is really special to me, and I'm really excited for you guys to see what I've got going on. And with that being said, I'll go ahead and end the video right here, and I will see you guys all in the next video.